So we will start with the chapter, like continue with the chapter. We'll go with dual nature of light. That is ironic because I said the chapter name is dual nature, right? We are now starting like dual nature. Sir, what are you doing? You told chapter name is dual nature. Now you're saying that you start dual nature. Until this time, we studied only one phenomena in its entirety, not even entirety. That is photoelectric effect, right? Photoelectric effect ಹೇಗಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಏನು ಕತೆ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಇಷ್ಟೊತ್ತು ಓದಿದ್ದು ಬೇರೆ ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ, only photoelectric effect. Explained by someone, observed by someone, like it was experimented on by many people and 7 results were given. Could not be explained by wave theory of light because there were 4 main drawbacks and he could not explain anything basically. And Einstein comes in and says, I will do it, and he does it. And it was explained in like different hypotheses. He gave a separate formula. Kmax equals h nu minus phi. Phi is work function. Ke max is like maximum kinetic energy of the electron. H nu is energy of incident radiation. E equals h nu. Yeah. And a guy by the name Millikan goes on and checks his experimental result using Einstein's theory, works out to be true. After that, we see some properties of photons. Property of photons, how they are, what is the rest mass, what is the speed of light, common sense, right? I'm getting a phone call, happens. Now after that, of course, the thought begins, if light can behave as a particle and if light has particle nature, don't all particles have wave nature then? The answer stands out to be true. Yes, if every wave behaves like a particle, all particles will also behave like waves. A equals B, B equals A. That is what was proposed by a guy by the name Louis de Broglie. Just because that's a yes, he is not Louis, he is Louis. Okay, his name is Louis de Broglie, and he said, all matter when they are in motion contain a wave nature. Conditions apply. What is the condition? If they are in motion. If they are not moving, everything, if it is not moving, it's a particle. There is no wave nature. There is wave nature only if the particle or any substance is moving. So question comes, if let's say one of you is moving, standing, walking, running, rolling, whatever, I don't care. If you are moving, then why is it that we are not seeing your wave? Why are we seeing you as you, a particle? You are not a particle, you are a collection of particles, but anyhow, if you are moving, why don't we see your wave going through? For that, I have a very clear-cut answer. Doesn't it exist? It exists. So your explanation will be one of the two. The first thing would be, there is no dual nature. First answer. Second answer would be, there is dual nature, wave nature also, but you cannot see. You cannot observe wave nature. And that gives a compelling argument until you prove otherwise, like there is no wave nature. We will prove that there are 2 guys, Davison and Germer, who proved that there is wave nature and found the exact wavelength of electron wave. All right. Now, what I propose is a very simple thing. I'll tell you why it works. Okay. Now, multiple phenomena, just like your photoelectric effect and Compton effect and black body radiation, proved that light can also act as particle when interacting with another particle, matter. So Louis de Broglie comes and says, matter also exhibits both particle-like and wave-like properties. Both, if it is in motion. But whenever we see a huge body of higher mass, very high mass, moving around, it's predominantly showing particle nature, and almost none of the occasions you will see wave nature. Almost every case it is particle nature. So if that is the case, if there is a wave, there should be a wavelength. For any wave, there's a wavelength, there's a frequency, that's a property of the wave, characteristic property, right? So what do we expect the wavelength of that moving person might be? For this guy, de Broglie, gives an equation. It is known as de Broglie waves. Okay, he calls them as de Broglie waves, and he gives a proper equation for wavelength of that wave. He says, matter, moving, wave nature, also has wave nature, and this is the wavelength, take. And he says, lambda equals h by p. Lambda is wavelength of that particular matter wave. H is the value of Planck's constant, and p is the linear momentum of the particle. What is momentum? Mass into velocity. Correct? This is momentum. So you can also write lambda equals h divided by m into v. Same thing that you see here. Now comes the question: why can we not see the wave of that matter? I will put a very simple question to you, and I want a quick answer. Listen very carefully. Do you know that light is a wave? Simple yes or no? Quick. Is light a wave?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Can you see the wave of light? Can you literally see it?
Sir, when particles are moving, we can see, sir. When dust particles are,
wait. When particles are moving, like what you're saying is there's dust, okay, and there's only some rays of light coming in from the window. That's what you're seeing, correct? You're seeing particles like this moving around. My question is, can you see wave? The light wave itself, can you see it?
No, sir.
No, sir. No, sir.
Not. Okay. The answer as to why would be, so you can make two arguments. Argument number one, there is no wave. Argument number two, there is one, you cannot just see it. You just can't see it. That is the proper answer, because your wavelength of visible light is around x thousand angstrom. X from like 4 to 7, 4000 to 7000, 4000 to 8, your choice. Okay, some thousand angstrom. It is in the wavelength is in the range of 10 power minus 7 meters. Do you know how small this is? 10 power minus 7. 1 by 10 power 7. 1 by 1 followed by 7 zeros. That is very small, and I mean very small. All right. So as this is the case, the wavelength is very small. We will write waves like this. So big. They are not that big. They are very small. As that is the case, you cannot see it. Our eyes cannot see it because we do not have that amount of resolving power in our eye. Okay. We don't have that resolving power, so we cannot see it. So can we see in matter wave? Again, I said there are two cases to be made here. One, there is no matter wave. Second, as is with light, there is matter wave. We cannot see it. We'll just see. We just take, for example, who is the person that gave me the answer just now? Bhuvan. Bhuvan, what is your mass? That's a bad question. I'll just take your mass is 50 kg is what you'll say. That's what you'll say. Sir, 50 kg, sir. I'll repeat. Mass and weight are different. Mass is what? Mass is just your mass. Weight is m into g. What you go and measure is weight. That is not in kgs. Okay, that is your weight. So you divide that value by 9.8. Suppose your weight is 50. Divide by 10. I'll take approximately 10. Okay, your mass is around 5 kg. That's your mass. Now, if you are moving with some velocity, let's say 10 meters per second, don't care, 10, very small velocity. Let a person X, whose mass is 5 kg. I'll even take 10 kg. Let it be round figures, no problem. I'll take a vibrating phone. I'll take 10 kg mass. Fine. And let this person be moving with a velocity equal to 10 meters per second. Start vibrating for once again. All right. Mass is 10 kg. Velocity is 10 meters per second. What would be the wavelength of this person moving? Now answer is again kind of simple. You take the same equation and you cut the phone. You take the same equation. Lambda equals h. What is the value of h? H is Planck's constant. Okay. The value of Planck's constant is 6.63 into 10 power. Guess what? Minus 34 joule second divided by mass into velocity. No, mass into velocity. What is the mass here? 10 kg into velocity 10 power minus 1. Oh, I'm sorry. Very bad. Please take 10. 10 into 10. Great. We have 10 into 10. We have like 100 here. This is like 10 power 2. Correct? This goes up. What happens? This becomes 10 power minus 36. It becomes. If you cannot see a wave of wavelength 10 power minus 7 meters, how can you see a wave of wavelength 10 power minus 36 meters? You cannot. So again, the two theories, both the theories will still stand. Both your arguments would be: one, there is no matter wave; two, there might be matter wave, but I cannot see it. You cannot, if there is one, you cannot see it, guaranteed. 10 power minus 36 meters. That's nonsense. You cannot see it. So explanation or question. So is there a particle which is small enough, light enough, so that we can observe its wave nature? Can anyone tell me a particle whose mass is around 10 power 30 minus 30, 10 power minus 31 kgs? A particle whose mass is very, and even very small. Any particle that you may think of. Anything? Let me ask you a very straightforward question then. Can anyone tell me the mass of an electron? Please. Bata dena. Mass of an electron. Don't know?
So 1.6 into 10 power minus 31.
What is charge of an
Minus 19.
What is charge of an electron? You missed their values, boy. Okay. So charge is 1.6, of course, minus into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. This is the charge. Okay. You like messed up the two things. And your mass is 9 point, not your mass. 9.1 into 10 power minus 31 kg. What you did was you put this value and this value together. No. Okay. Charge is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. Mass is 9.1 into 10 power minus 31 kg. Now we can make a compelling argument that if we can observe light rays, if we can, using some, not our eyes of course, with some equipment, because we have done it. We have proved that light is a wave. If we can do it, then we can maybe observe electron waves. That sounds nice now. Electron waves. Electrons moving with high speed, because electrons always move with very high speed. Okay. Now, moving forward, should there exist a wave form or should there exist a wave nature? Condition still applies that the body should be in motion. Correct? What did de Broglie say? If the body is moving, if any particle is moving, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? The waves associated with particles in motion condition, the very specific condition is they should be in motion. I told this yesterday also, right? So we should make an electron to move. You should make it move. How do you make a charged particle move from one place to another place? How? Let us say we have a static electron. That is never the case. Anyway, let us say we have an electron that is standing, sleeping, don't care, something. It is not moving. Okay. I want the electron to move. It is so small you cannot touch it. How will you make an electron move from place A to place B? Quick answer. It is a charged particle. Remember, it is a charged particle. Let me ask you even simple question, a very simple question. How does current flow, or what is the reason for flow of current in a circuit? Give me a simple answer. I'll make it even simple. Waste fellows. I'll make it even simple. I'll give you two cases. Okay. Case number one. There's a bulb. There's a set of wires. Okay. There's a battery. Bulb will glow. Case two. There's a bulb. There's a set of wires. There is no battery. Bulb will not glow. In which case there's current? Bulb glowing, bulb not.
First case.
First one.
Bulb glowing. So, then what is the difference between case 2 and case 2? What is the difference?
Battery.
There is no
Battery.
battery.
What does the battery contain?
Electron.
Charges.
No. It
Charges.
has an EMF, electromotive force. Okay. Or you can say a battery provides a potential difference. You have learned this in your chapter 2, second chapter, potential difference. Correct? You would have learned this by now. Ohm's law, V equals IR. If there is V, there is I. There's no V, there's no I. What is voltage? You have to learn this voltage, potential difference. So in order for current to flow, you need a potential difference. Current always goes from, okay, I'll not speak of current now, different. So what is current? I'll come to the basic question. What is current? Electric current. Define electric current. Not define. What is it? Again, it's a very simple question.
Flow of
Simple.
electrons.
Rate of flow of charge will say, not flow, rate of flow. Okay, I equals dq by dt. So if electrons are moving, then there is current. Now check the same experiment, thought experiment. There is battery, there is current. It means there is a battery, electrons are moving. That comes to my basic question. How do you make an electron move? Now give me the answer. Quickly, like so. How do you make an electron move from place A to place B? Your answer would be, please, answer please. No one, literally, like no answer. How can I ask this in any different manner? You yourself just told me for there to be current in a circuit, you need a battery, a potential difference. What is current? Flow of electrons. My question, for electrons to flow or move, what is the condition? Guys. Same thing, potential difference. Electrons move from always cathode towards anode. Why? Cathode is negatively charged, anode is positively charged. Right? Electron is negatively charged, moves from negative to positive plate. This is nonsense. Anyhow. So, your answer, very simple. You provide an electron with a potential difference. Electron will just like accelerate. It will just move. Take some velocity, get some velocity, and move from place A to place B. So, if you put an under a given potential difference, or you can say accelerating potential, same thing. What does it do? It makes the electron from standing still to move with the velocity v. That means initial velocity will be 0. It will continue to travel with some velocity, higher value. If velocity is increasing, there is acceleration. Simple stuff, right? What is acceleration? Rate of change of velocity with respect to time. So we call the potential as accelerating potential. What does it do? It accelerates the electron. It makes the electron move faster. Now, there is a specific relation between acceleration potential V and wavelength lambda of the electron. Of course, derived by this equation. Which one? Yeah, voila. Using this one. Right. Now, we will derive the equation and we will check if the value is right. Then it means if the value is right, theoretical value and experimental value, if both of them concur, only then your theory that electron is also a wave, everyone is a wave, is true, if moving, of course. Now we'll just check. They will ask you in the exam, derive 1.227 by V equals root V equals lambda, or derive the equation for de Broglie wavelength of an electron in an accelerating potential. One of these. You will have this equation, lambda equals 1.227 divided by root of V. Now, you know that lambda is what? H by mv. Your starting steps. How to derive? Always go through this. You only have one equation. How many equations? Only one equation for a matter wave. Lambda equals H by mv. Or I can write lambda equals H by P. H here is a constant, cannot do anything. I get a value for P, I get lambda. That's all. What is my aim? Get a value for P. I want a relation between P, momentum, and V. Oh, that's a very bad and V. I want a relation between P and V. What is P? Momentum. What is V? Accelerating potential. Now, how do I do it? I will create a connection between momentum P and kinetic energy K. That will lead to V. All right. Let me make it easier for you. From the equation of stopping potential, you have seen that Kmax, maximum kinetic energy, equals E into Vs, where E stands for charge of an electron or charge on an electron. Vs stands for stopping potential. Do you remember this? You should remember this, right? Kmax or half mv square, half mv max square equals E into Vs. Similarly, here we do not have a stopping potential. Here we have a potential that will make the electron accelerate. So here we have this V, which is accelerating potential, right? Which potential? Accelerating potential. Now, what we'll do is we'll take this, we'll put it here, and we'll make sure that we get the proper equation, that is A wala. Okay. Now we know that kinetic energy is what? Half mv square. Question, sir, why do we not put K max? Why not maximum value? Because that is only for your photoelectric effect, maximum kinetic energy. This is not maximum. This is just kinetic energy. This will be equal to same E into V. I'll take this later. Now what I'll do is I'll take this half mv square. Nice one. Okay. I'll multiply and divide by m. Small things. Equals same half, same mv square into m divided by m. I'll put m here, not there. Otherwise, you'll say m cancel, no issues. So what I'll do is this is m into m. What is m into m? M square. I have half m square v square by m. I'll write these two together. 2m. I'll write these two together. This makes me think what I'm seeing is p square by 2m. So how p square? Because this is m square v square equal to mv whole square. What is m into v? Momentum. P square by 2m. I told you I want the value of momentum here. What I told you? I want the value of momentum. I got momentum. Now it's a step for me to connect momentum to. I have connected momentum to K. No problem. Now connect this K to V. That's all. All right. Now P square by 2m is my value of kinetic energy. Now our kinetic energy is equal to what? We have kinetic energy equals what? E into V. What is our kinetic energy now? This is the value. Oh, this is the value. P square by 2m, right? So we'll write P square by 2m equals E into V. Great. What do I want? I want an equation for V. Makes sense. I do not want P here. I'll eliminate it sometime. So what I'll do is I'll take it 2m, put it to RHS. I will have P square equals 2m EV. Whatever you want to write. Okay. 2m into E into V. Now I don't want P square. I want what? I want what? Where is it? Where is it? I want P. H by P I want. Okay. So I want P. So I'll write P equals root of 2m EV. Now I will take the original equation. Lambda equals H by P. Lambda equals H by P. I know the value P. I'll put it there. I'll take lambda equals H divided by P. Lambda equals H divided by what is P? Root of 2m EV. In the final answer, I am seeing root V and everything else is a constant, and I see nanometer also. Okay. So this is H constant. We know the value. This is 2. It is 2. Okay. This is m, mass of electron. We just told the value, a wrong value, but nevertheless. This is E, charge of an electron. We know the value. The only value that we do not know or is a variable is V, or rather root V. So I will put root V aside. I'll take everything, every one of those to one side, not like in one part. So what I do is I'll put lambda equals H divided by root of 2m E into 1 by root V I have. Any doubts here? Your equation is like done. It's done. It's done. You get this? It's done. Now you put the value of H. 6.63 into 10 power minus 34 joule second. Very nice. Very nice. Now what's that? Okay. Now, what's the value of M? Mass of electron. 9.1 into 10 power minus 31 kg. What is E? Charge on electron. 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. Now, sir, where is the minus? Only in the minus. Only in the magnitude. Okay. The magnitude. Okay. If Divya doesn't mute herself, she is out. Divya doesn't mute herself, she is out.
Sir,
Mute ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಡ್ರಿ.
mute ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ sir.
ಈಗ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ. New problem. Mute ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸರಿ. We put the value of H, put the value of M, put the value of E. Calculate 2ME, take square root, do everything. This constant will come to the value of 12.27 into 10 power minus 10. Okay. You will see that the value of this divided by root of 2 into this will be equal to how much? 12.27 into 10 power minus 10. Divided by root V, you will have same thing. Divided by root V. Now this is equal to lambda. Now lambda is wavelength. Last part is length. What is the unit of length? Meter. So we'll write meter. What is 10 power minus 10 meter? Angstrom. What is it? Angstrom. If you do not want that, if you want in nanometers, which is the case that have been given, nanometers they are given. Okay. What we'll do is we'll shift 1 point to this side. We'll this as 10 power minus 9. Okay. Lambda equals 1.227 newt divided by root V. This becomes nanometer. Nano means 10 power minus 9. Over. Derivation over. Any doubts? Any doubts? Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, sir. No, sir. Anything?
No, sir.
Good. We have 32. Now I have to erase everything. Erase. Okay. Now, that is the equation for wavelength of electron if accelerated through a potential of V volts. Great. We just got an equation. Okay. Now, I'll tell this this note will be in the last step. Okay. As soon as there is any theoretical value, there should be some experimental value, or there should be some experiment confirming the theory. There should be an experiment, right? So as soon as this value was obtained, by whom? Broglie is the guy who gave the equation, right? As soon as this was obtained, two people by the name Davison and Germer. What was his name? What was their name? Davison and Germer. They went on, built an apparatus and calculated the value of wavelength of electron. They did it. Okay. And the problem was their problem was, can there be waves? That was not the issue. Is the equation right? H by P. That was the issue. They had to make sure that the equation of wavelength for a matter wave was appropriate and correct. So what they went on and did was they tried to find the velocity of, not velocity, the wavelength of an electron wave, using this experimental setup. Now, a good thing for you is this will not be asked in your exam because this year this is out of syllabus. Corona, out of syllabus. Okay. However, they will ask one thing. What was the outcome of Davison-Germer experiment is what they'll ask. And you write this thing. Outcome of Davison-Germer experiment. You write this, that, and where's it? Those. What they did, it's a very simple thing. Okay, not simple. Okay, this is a movable collector which collects electrons. What do they do? Collect electrons. This is a very high tension battery, not a very low, very high tension. This is a rheostat, of course, variable resistance. Now, electrons are shot like this. This is an electron gun. Okay, this moves to this window A, a chamber, and electron beam is deflected by a target of nickel. And it comes like the variable, what do you say, angles it creates. It will come here, it will come here, it will come here, variable angles. Okay? Because electrons are small particles and nickel is a metal, it will hit some part of the nucleus or the atom itself and deflect in different ways. This. So this will be a movable collector. This collects the electrons and sends it to the galvanometer. Detects current. Okay. Now the energy and the wavelength is calculated. All right. If the wavelength is calculated and they calculate the potential as well, this is the potential. They know what the potential is. They have to just put the value of potential and check if the wavelength that they got by this experiment is correct to the given potential. Because what does the equation say? It says lambda wavelength equals 1.227 by root of V nanometer. If that is right, they should get the same result as in the theory. Now what they do is they take around 54 volts. What is it? Around 54 volts. This is the average. Average of this is what? 54 they got, 50 or something. All right. They tried various ones. And the scattering angle, A wala, theta, was around anywhere from 50, 40, 60 degrees. But for 54 volts, the scattering angle was 50 degrees for a voltage of 54 volts. So they calculated using diffraction, which you do not know yet because I have not taught you wave optics. It's a thing. Using diffraction, they got the value of wavelength of 0.165 nanometer. That is 0.165 nanometer. Now, if you put the same value, 54 volts, into this equation, 1.227 by root of, instead of V, you will put 54. You will get 0.167 nanometer. 0.167 nanometer. Is there much of a difference here? Do you see a huge difference? Now, you will say, sir, there's a third decimal variation. No, not a third decimal. I said nanometer. Now, what does nanometer stand for? 10 power minus 9. This is 0.165 into 10 power minus 9. 0.167 into 10 power minus 9. It is accurate to more than 8 digits. It is so accurate. So they came to the conclusion that the formula given by Louis de Broglie for matter waves, for the wavelength of matter waves, is correct. Okay, and it proved existence of wave nature of electrons. Now to the question: how do electrons exist? Did I tell you this? I think I told you this. I'm not sure. Did I tell you about existence of electrons? How they are revolving around the nucleus? Yes or no? Simple question it is. Did I tell you or did I not tell you this? What do you think versus what it actually is? Nucleus, blue color, I don't know. Okay. Assume it is round. Okay. Assume it is round. Expectation. Oh God. Wait. Tomato 2 kg 20 ಅಂತ ಬೇಕಾ? ಏನು ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. What can I do? People are screaming. Okay, so I did not tell you. Okay, fine. Now, expectation. There is a nucleus, very small part. There are electrons revolving in circular orbit, which is wrong. In circular orbits, there are particles. Reality. Every time there's this expectation versus reality. Allah. Reality. nucleus, expect circular orbit. No way, chance illa. How electrons will go is like this. You can only find a probability distribution for electrons. You can only find how probable is to find an electron at a given spot at a given time. You cannot exactly see an electron. It is there. It is there. It is there. No. You can only calculate probability of finding an electron at a given point at a given time. Only probability. They are moving as waves. They are moving very fast. Electrons are revolving around the nucleus and they exhibit wave nature, not particle nature, because they are moving that fast and the mass is so low. All right. This is expectation. This is reality. Hits you hard, doesn't it? So you will expect something. Reality is something else. Anyhow. ಆಯ್ತಪ್ಪ ಟೊಮೆಟೊ 2 kg 20 ನಾನೇನ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಬಿಡ್ರೋ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೀಯಾ Are you able to hear this?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Okay. Anyhow, now I did tell you that I will tell you one part in the very end. Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. What you see here and what the theory actually is are two different things. Not different. It is vast, larger than what you see here. Okay. What you see is a very simple thing. It is not possible to measure both position and momentum of an electron at the same time. Simple. Okay. If you measure position, momentum is lost. Not lost. You cannot measure it. If you measure momentum, you cannot see which position it is in. You lose that data. It is not actually that simple. The accurate statement comes something like this. Two canonically conjugate variables cannot be determined simultaneously to the given level or desired level of accuracy and position at any given instant of time or position. Huge statement. There is something as canonical conjugate variables. Mathematics. What two of those variables are position and time? Position and momentum, and energy and time. Similar. Okay. Position, momentum, energy and time, they cannot be determined together. If you find one, you will miss another. If you find this, you will miss this. If you find position, you will miss momentum. If you find momentum, you will miss position. That is guaranteed. Okay. And it is not like you cannot find. You can find it, but there will be a lot of error. Again, not a lot. There will be error. If you find it, fine. But even with any experiment or any theory, if you find the position, there is error in momentum. Okay, so this position, not P. Fine. Position is like X position. There's error in P. If you find the value of momentum correctly, there's error in X, delta X. So the actual formula goes something like this. It's like delta X, delta P is always greater than or equal to H, or sometimes H bar. Okay, this is the actual formula. But what you will learn and what you will stick on to in this year, second year of your PUC, is you cannot determine both position and momentum of an electron simultaneously. That is all you will stick on to. If you find position, you cannot find momentum. If you find momentum, you cannot find position at the same time. That is all. Understood? Please do not ask why, how, what. Please don't ask. It is complicated. It goes to quantum theory. Okay? Have we understood everything? Everything? Sure. Yes, no. Yes, no. Yes, no. Give me the Indian nod. Yes, sir, and no, sir, together. Yes or no? I'm seeing chat. I'm asking like a question. I hope that you have understood everything because the chapter is over.
Yes, sir.
ಅರ್ಥ ಇದೆಯಾ? Super. ಇನ್ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ? I got a chat. Some chat. Yes.
sir.
ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿಲ್ವಾ?
ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆ ಸರ್.
ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ? Okay. ಯಾರು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆ ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. I cannot see multiple participants at a time. Only see n number, limited number. Still fine, still fine. Now, I'll give you two options. We can move on to the very interesting part of numericals. Option 2, we can finish for the day and start with numericals tomorrow. What do you propose?
Anything, sir.
Anything, sir. That's in Udagaru. Numerical or tomorrow? Numerical, okay, not tomorrow, day after, whatever. Not day after, even Monday. Not even Monday, Tuesday. Okay. Numerical or not? Bega.
Numericals.
Very good. Numerical will start. So we will have something else to write on. We need something to write on, Alva. We'll have something to
Yes,
write on.
sir.
No problem. We'll write on. Please open. Please. Open, please. There's something to write on. This is great. Now, you please have a look at all these formulas. All these formulas. Okay? And your first formula would be this. E equals h nu. Simple one. Which stands for energy. This stands for Planck's constant. This stands for frequency of radiation. Right? And the first question is based entirely upon the same formula. Find the maximum frequency question and maximum wavelength of X-rays produced by question 30 kilovolt electrons. 30 kilovolt ಏನಂದ್ರೆ 30 kilovolt electrons. I would guess if they give 30 kilo electron volt, something else. If they give 30 kilovolt, it means I guess electron accelerated through a potential of 30 kilovolts. So the energy would be E into this value, something like that. Okay. So I will take the equation, same thing. E equals h nu. All right. Now we have an equation that says E equals what? Where's E? Energy, K, same thing. Equals E into V. What is it? E into V, right? Or write like half mv square, same thing. Equals E into V. Now I'll take this as E into V equals h nu. What do I want? Maximum frequency and minimum wavelength, both are essentially same. Okay, maximum wavelength, minimum frequency, and ulta the same. Now I want the value of frequency. I'll send everything to the other side. I'll have nu equals E into V divided by h. Okay, put the value of E, put the value of V, put the value of h. What do you get? You get nu equals, what is the value of E? 1.6, no minus, into 10 power minus 19. Why no minus? Because frequency is never negative. Okay, into what is V? 30 kilovolt. That is 30 into kilo means 10 power 3 divided by what is h? 6.63 into 10 power minus 34. We'll solve all these 10 powers right away. If 34 goes up, this goes up. What happens? It is plus 34 plus 3, 37. 37 minus 19. Quickly, someone tell me what is 37 minus 19. Very fast. Bega.
18, sir.
Very good. 18. So you get 10 power 18 into. Okay. So you do 1.6 into 30 divided by 6.63. You get the answer. So we'll do it. You are allowed to use calculators. We'll do it here. Okay. What's the value? 1.6 into 30 equals so and so divided by 6.63. 1.24 I'll write 24. This is the value of frequency. What's the unit of frequency? Unit of frequency. This is your answer. Okay, that's the value of frequency. What is the answer given? Okay, 7.24. We got the answer. 7.24 into 10 power 18 hertz. Great, exact same answer we got. Now you'll say, sir, we got 7.23. I know. Up. This is 9, so this becomes 4. Okay. Now clearing that, I want one more value because the question is not finished. The question follows. Minimum wavelength. Now it's a simple equation, and my simple equation is like this, just like this, like this, like this. My equation is simple. V equals F lambda, or I can write V equals nu into lambda. In this case, not V, I have C, right? C equals nu lambda. I want lambda. So this means I have lambda equals nu by C. Makes sense? So lambda wavelength equals, what is nu? We just found the value. 7.24 into 10 power 18 divided by C, speed of light. Because X-rays travel with speed of light, right? 3 into 10 power 8, 18 gone, it becomes like 10 power 10. Now we have 7.24 by 3. What is 7.24 by 3? .413 I have equals 2.413. We have lambda equals 2.413 into, I have done something very bad. I cannot get 10 power 10. This is wrong. 10 power 10 is wrong. I don't know what is wrong, but like something is entirely wrong. I know what is wrong. I did a very bad mistake. My very bad mistake is this. I should have taken lambda here, nu downward. What have I done? Lambda is not equals this. Lambda equals C by nu. That's all. Very silly mistake. Lambda equals, what is C? Forgot. 3 into 10 power 8 divided by, what is nu? 7.24 into 10 power 18. Okay. So if I take this out, I'll have 10 power minus 10 here. Now it makes sense. Because your wavelength of X-ray is less than 10 power minus 10. Now I have 3 by 7.24. I'll get 0.4 or something. 1 by, okay, same thing. 3 divided by 7.24. 0.414 equals 0.414 angstrom. What is 10 per minus 10 meters? Angstrom. That is your answer. Nanometer, 0.04 nanometer, same thing. Okay, so your answer would be, for frequency, this is the answer. Okay, for wavelength, this is the answer. Clear? Don't do mistakes like I do. Don't do this. This is very bad. Where is this? Oh my God, not that. Where is this? You got the answer? Are we absolutely on the clear? No doubts at all? You want a
No,
screenshot?
sir.
Screenshot ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು? ಬೇಡ? I've taken one nevertheless. I'll send it over. Okay. Question number 2 we'll do. It will take me 10 minutes. Or we'll stop. What do we do? ಬೇಗ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು. What do we do? Our chat. The chat says yes, sir. Okay, great. We'll continue then. And I have to save it as numerical one. Now people will see dark on my screen. I cannot do anything. I watch series. Happens. No problem. Where? You will series not happen, right? Continue, sir. We will continue. One more will do. Work function of cesium metal is 2.14 electron volt. When light of frequency 6 into 10 power 15 hertz is incident on the metal surface, the photo emission of electron occurs. Okay, so it is more than work function frequency. What is question A? Maximum kinetic energy of the emitted electrons. Question B, stopping potential. Question 3, maximum speed of the emitted photoelectrons. Now, you should know one trick here. If you find maximum kinetic energy of electrons in electron volt, that will be equal to the value of stopping potential. You can check the answer, 0.345, 0.345. But here it is electron volt, here it is volt. All right, because maximum kinetic energy in electron volt is also equal to stopping potential in volt. So make sure that you know this trick. All right, don't go on calculating. Okay, of course you have to calculate in board exam. That is, you have to do it. So we'll take the given values. What are the given values? Work function is 2.1 for electron volts. Okay, great. We have given work function there. What is work function? Phi equals 2.14 electron volt. Now, I don't like electron volts because it is not a SI unit. I'll convert it to what? Joules. So I'll write phi equal to 2.14 into 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 joule. I'm converting it to joule. What is 2.14 into 1.6? Don't know, sir. Gotila? Oh, Gotila. 2.14? 2.6. We have 3.424. This is equal to 3.424 into 10 power minus 19 joule. This is the given data. I'm not doing anything yet. This is the given data. Okay. And one more. Light of frequency so and so hertz is incident on the metal surface. Okay. What is the frequency? Incident frequency nu equals 6 into 10 power 14 hertz. Question. What is the maximum kinetic energy of emitted electrons? So he asks for the question. Kmax equals question mark. No problem. We'll do it. Never. This is easy. This is easy. Okay. We'll do it. Now we'll go on and do something like this. We'll calculate or we'll take the equation that says Kmax equals h nu minus phi, right? I could have taken h nu minus h nu naught. I could have taken hc by lambda 1 minus hc by lambda naught. But the given equation contains phi and nu. I'll take h into nu minus lambda phi, right? So we'll have Kmax. That is what I want, by the way. Equals, what is h? 6.63 into 10 power minus 34 into what is frequency? 6 into 10 power 14 minus phi value. How much is it? 3.424. I'll just drag this over into 10 power minus 19. Am I right? Now, if I take this, I have 10 power minus 34 and plus 14. What do I have? Minus 20 is equal to some value into 10 power minus 20. And I have 6.63 into 6. Correct. I have somewhere around 39. I'll get 6. Oh God. 39.78. Great. I have 39.78. So this is 39.78 minus 3.424 into 10 power minus 19. Now the dumb thing that you'll do is take this minus this. Nonsense. Power here is minus 20. Power here is minus 19. What do you want to do? You will move this point over. Okay, we'll make this as 3.978 into 10 power minus 19 minus the same value. Now you can do this minus this. Ye wala minus ye wala. Okay, 10 power is same. It will be common. What do you have? You have same thing. Oh God, oh God. You have 3.978 minus, what's the value there? 3.424 equals 0.554 is your answer. Equals 0.554 into 10 power minus 19. This is joules. I will find the value in electron volts because I told you maximum kinetic energy in electron volt will be equal to the value of stopping potential directly. Okay, now this is my answer. It's correct. I will go on one step further and I'll do one more thing. What I'll do is I'll do this. Again, K Maxwell, right? Equals. Should I convert this to electron volt? I have to divide by 1.6 into 10 power minus 19. Okay, so we'll have 0.554 into 10 power minus 19 divided by 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 electron volt I'll have. All right, so this gets cancelled. Same thing. 0.554 by 1.6. This is here divided by 1.6. Answer is 0.34625. What's the answer? 0.346 is equals 0.346 electron volt. This is the maximum kinetic energy of emitted electrons. 0.345. Okay, what's the answer? 0.345, 0.346, same thing. Okay, now next one, stopping potential should be the same value. Now you'll write a very simple one. Stopping potential is equal to the same value of maximum kinetic energy in electron volt. Therefore, stopping potential, that is Vs, implies Vs also equal to 0.346 electron volt. You do not do this in board exam. Don't. You should calculate. Just put the value, get the same answer. Do it. Okay. You put half mv square equals E into Vs. Take E. This is half mv square. Okay. Equals E into Vs. Take the value of E down. What is the value of E? Same thing. What will you get? Same thing. Okay. You should do this in board exams. But you get the same answer. Next one. What have they asked for? Maximum speed of the emitted photoelectrons. Great. What we have is half mv square. Is it hard? Is it hard to find speed? It is not. It is very easy. If we have half mv square, what I have is half mv square by the way. Okay. Now I will take the value here in joules. I will not take electron volt wala. I'll take joule because I want speed in. So I'll go for half m Vmax square equals, what is the value? 0.554 into power minus 19. Now I want V. I'll send everything else to RHS. So I'll have Vmax square equals 0.554 into 2. I will get 1.18. I don't know. I'm not sure. Anyway, 0.554 into 2 into 10 power minus 19. Why 2? This 2 at that side. And m will go down. Divided by, what is mass of an electron? The electron, right? Yeah. What is mass of an electron? Again, 9.1 into 10 power minus 9. God. Oh God, you made that mistake. I'm doing it now. 10 power minus 31 kg. Okay. Okay. Now I have 0.554 into 2 by 9.1. Now I need a calculator. Okay. What is the value? 0.554 into 2. 0.108. Okay, fine. Divide by, right? Kind of 9.1. 0.1217 or I have 0.1218. I'll take because that is 5. Okay, I'll have V max square equals 0.1218 into is 8. Okay, it's 8. Sorry, very bad, into. Now what do I have next? What do I have next? 10 power minus 19 into 10 power plus 31. What is 31 minus 19? What's the value? Bega ಹೇಳಬೇಕು. 31 minus 19.
12.
Huh?
12.
12 into 10 power plus or minus?
Plus.
Plus 12. That's a very bad too, but artha like clearly. Okay, 12. Now what I'll do is I have to take square root. No, I'll make this as 10. Okay, and I'll make this as 12.18 into 10 power 10. Makes sense. V equals root of this value. Now I'll take square root. Where's my square root? I don't know. Square root. Oh, not this. Not. I'm sorry. See. Have 12.18. What's my square root? It is 3.49. I'll write. V equals 3.49 into 5 meter per second. This is the speed with which the electron will move. What's the speed? 3.49 into 10 power 5. Let's check the key answers. 330 we got 3.49. Okay, somewhere it's fine. Kilometer per second. 10 power 5 meter per second. Same thing. If you put this here, if you put the point here, this will become 10 power 3 kilometer per second. Same thing. Okay. All clear. Oh God. I'll have 10 power 5. I'll maintain 10 power 5. That's my answer. Are we good on everything? Yes. No. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗತ್ತವ ಇಷ್ಟು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ
Yes, sir.
ಅಕ್ಕ
No, sir.
ನೋ ಸರ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಡಿ it's time of for us to end the class. We'll end the class. We'll see each other tomorrow. Okay. Okay. By tomorrow I'm in next class. Bye.